Good morning. I'm Dr. Wyatt again, and I'm a general dentist, and I've done nothing but orthodontics now for about the last 42 years. And I did a lot of dentistry and some good bit of orthodontics prior to that. But I'm going to try to talk to you a little bit this morning about a step-down arch. If you're a general dentist or pedodontist or pediatric dentist, I hope you're a member of the American Orthodontic Society. You really need to be in a good society, and this is the best. I really feel that way, and so I'm trying to stress that, and you can belong to it wherever you are in the world. And so it is a good organization. We have some excellent instructors in our organization. We have annual meetings. We have good publications several times a year. And we have a tier deal where you can work up until you pass the boards. And I'm board certified in this and the international, and I've been teaching for a long time, and so I'm kind of retired now, so I'm trying to put this stuff on YouTube. So anyway, here we go. I want to talk to you a little bit about wire bending, and these step down arches, or normally you think of them as step down. If you use them in the upper arch, they're step up arch wire, and this is an excellent wire to learn how to use. And you can close space with them, and you can maintain space. You can intrude the teeth, and you can align the roots, and you can just do all sorts of things with this step down arch, and I'm going to try to show you a little bit of that today. We can show you how to bend these things. Hopefully it'll help in your practice. It has mine over the years. So anyway, we'll go to the next thing here. Step down was, now in this case, number one, I've got many cases here. I'm not going to try to show too many of them, but this young lady, we bent the wire a little bit longer, dropped it down further than it really needed to be, and we had the wire too close to out into the cheek, and we got her back and bent it back in. So let me just show you some of the things to watch out for in it. This is a nice little girl right here, and this thing cut her lip, and she didn't really feel it all that much. It was sticking out too much here, and it got in here, and it cut the circulation off of the lip tissue, and it'll just cut a groove. And I say lip, this is the cheek, and here where it would cut a groove in the cheek, and we eagerly bent it back. We got it too close over here, about correctly here. It shouldn't, and so you'd have to take a pair of pliers and catch this side, bring it out a little bit, and hold this side and pull it in, and put it back in the mouth and pull it up in position and see where those corners are going to go when it's in there under pressure. You might be trying to intrude these teeth in front at the same time that you're holding this space open in here for the permanent teeth to erupt into the mouth. And if you put an arch wire across here, you're always biting on it and hitting it. And if you get the arch wire down, I may have got this a little bit longer than it needed to be. Maybe if we ran it something like that and came up, it would be better. And I'm going to try drawing this stuff on the screen and maybe help some of you to learn how to bend the wire. You've got to learn wire bending to do real good orthodontics. There's no way to buy these preformed wires and treat all these cases. So when you get out into the interceptive, preventive stuff, you have to figure out ways that you're going to do certain things, you see. And so there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done real early in life, and if you don't do it then, sometimes it's too late. They get too much vertical height to the face a lot of times in cases like that. Now, I may tend to ramble on here some, but I want you to learn it, and that's what's important for me. All right, this is a bad shot there. Here's another one. This shows it a little more clearly. You can see this is pushing on the gingival tissue there too hard. And if you left it go like this, they'd come back, they'd have a groove in this tissue right here. So we're going to have to take this wire out again, and we've got it tied in and all that, but you got to pull it out. And then you have to bend this leg out and hold this one where it is. If you just bend both of them out, then this one's going to be too far. This is about the right amount of pressure on the medial glute, and this is too much on that. Let me erase that so you can look at the tissue. You can see how this is pressed down. This is blanched maybe a little bit, but not much. So that's working okay. Now I'm going to just make a little sheet here where I can just draw on here and show you some things about a step down. Let's just call it a step down arch, or it's a step up above. Now basically you just come along like this, and you come down, and you come over like this, and you come up, and we take a wax pattern of the teeth, and we mark where we want to come down, you see, and come up on the wax, and we go straight down with it like that. And now the arch wire would go around something like this, and maybe a gap over here would be the same, and you come in and go back this way. Now if you want to make this an intruding wire at the same time you're doing this, you can actually just bend this out here and come back, and the wire's going to be going something like this, and coming down and coming up. In other words, you can put a lot of force on this front part of it. Now if you want to be really sophisticated about it and not have to bend it down all that much, you can come out, as you come out of the molar area, back here, excuse me, if you come out of the molar area, then we're going to come something like that, and then you can tilt this downhill here. Well, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to use right there. Let's see if we can get that out. Let me start back here. I'm going to just start over with a new page. If you want to fix a loop in it where you can make it work, you come out of your molar and you drop down and turn around like that, and now come over here. So if you activate this up here somewhere, it tightens that up. In other words, if you activate it here, it pulls up on that loop and tightens it up and makes it go down better, like that. So you can come in here and put a loop like that in it. Now, you push this thing down, that will cause this to have a little more strength to it and then force the front part of the teeth down. Now, the real beauty of these is that you can expand and contract with a step-down arch. A lot of people don't realize that you come out here with this, and we want to expand the arch. So we have a gap here that's smaller than we want, and we come up here with this arch, and you've got to bend it together at the top. I mean, you've got to close it up, and so you make this deal go down like this, and then it'll come over to this side and come up and come through, and you maybe have the same kind of expansion on that side. Now the wire, when you put it in the gap here, it's right up against the brackets, you see. When you put it in the gap, the wire was like that with the brackets. It was like that. So when you push this together to engage it here, as you push it together, the bottom part of this bows out like that. And now this is leaned like this in the place, and this up here goes down, and this goes up back in this area, and that bracket that's in makes the root of the tooth move this way as well as the crown. Now, I may have drawn this a little crude, and you didn't really understand, well, why, if I expand with this, the crown and the roots go together with a step-down arch. Now, don't just memorize that, figure out why it does. Because when I take this deal like that, and I've got to stick it into a place that's smaller than that, I mean, say the bracket is over here somewhere, and I've got to stick it in that bracket, then I've got to put the wire in here and bend that thing, and this is going like that. Now, when that piece is going that way, it's pushing this up, and that moves this bracket this way. See, now I'm expanding with it, and this will go down here and come up to the other side, and then you've got the expansion in this side. Now, when you bow this down, it makes the root of this tooth. Say we've got a bicuspid sitting in here, something like this, and you're in a bracket on that bicuspid, it will tend to move this root distal as well as the crown distal. Excuse me. Now, if I put just a spring up here between these two teeth, or if you've got a couple of teeth over here, and you need to move those teeth apart, and say you've got a cuspid or a bicuspid or something in here, and you want to move them apart, and you just put something in here with a spring on it, pushing it right here, then this crown moves over, this one moves over, but the tooth rotates somewhere back in here, and so as the tooth moves, the crown moves this way, the root goes back in this direction. It rotates, something like that. So if you're going to expand with just a spring, you've got to put some tip in these teeth to do that. In other words, you have an arch wire coming across here. That's where those two teeth are, or something on a bracket in here. Now you're going to have to tip if you push on this. In other words, you're going to have force going this way and this way. So we're pushing on that. So the root of the tooth that's in here now, you just push on any tooth like that, and it's going to rotate somewhere along in the root right here. So as the crown moves over this way, the root's going to go in this direction, and I do not want that. So if you don't want to use the step down, you've got to put if this is the mesial, so you'll have to put mesial tip in this one and posterior tip in that one right there. In other words, you'll come over here and you drop down a little bit and you come up in the center of the tooth and you drop back down to your arch wire. So you hook this arch wire up to these teeth, and this thing's bent like that. And then this one, this tooth 2, will have to have this type of arch wire crossing the bracket right in the center, you see. And so your spring is coming across here. It's moving the crowns this way, and the tip that you've got in the tooth is moving the roots this way. So now you've made something in here. You've got a spring in that, pushing that apart. Or if you pulled it or did anything with it, you're going to have that tip in it to keep the roots. So if you move the roots parallel, go out like this, that has to be. Now this is more difficult to do than doing the little step down, but the step down does that automatically. So you can make the step down bigger than your gap, and when you squeeze it together to get it into the brackets, the front part of it right here, it will be pushed up, and this will go down when you squeeze it together. Now it's right opposite from that when you close the space with one. I hope you don't get absolutely totally confused with this, but this little arch wire is complicated, and you just aren't born with the ability to see what to do with it. Some people can see it a lot quicker. And I used to, when I lectured, I had a big wire, and I just went around and showed them. So when I squeezed that thing together, the top's angled up.
Hang on while I get connected to Wi-Fi.
And this is a odd thing. Now I'm going to close space with it and try to bring these teeth together with this. Now, okay, we're interested in moving these teeth together like this. All right, you can take a piece of step-down wire, and you've got a couple of brackets on these teeth. And we're going to fit that right up against this. So we start pulling on that thing. Now we make one smaller than the bracket. In other words, this bracket space is about like that. Say the space is something like that. So we would come out and make a step down, say to fit one of them coming out here, and to come over here, and we'd make this one where it's say a couple millimeters in front of this one over here. As it come through like this and drop down right here and come over and come up in front of this one right here. Now you've got to tie something here to activate this thing. So in this loop it goes up over next, say this could be a molar, see. You come up in front of it right here. Now here you're going to have to put something on this wire in this area so that you can hook on to it. So we take the wire up and go up and turn around like that and come back up to the wire and go. And now here's, let's say this is a molar tooth that you've got coming, well, that would be way on up here. You have a bracket on here. And this wire would be going on through this bracket. And you hook around behind your wire and come around behind this and tie that down. As you did, it would straighten this out this way, and it can't pull this from this side, so it would tend to straighten this one out like that. Now, as I pull on that, this goes down. That makes the root go this way. And as I pull on this one, it makes this go down, and it pulls this root in this direction. And this space will close up with these teeth being virtually parallel as they go through there. Now, that's going to be hard for people to see, but you can see how complex sometimes the bending of these arch wires is. And you have to learn how to either put the tip in the wire where you go up and you cross at the center and you come back up and you like to center it that way. Well, if you wanted to raise a tooth and tip it at the same time, you can make your tip like this and come down. In other words, it would bend somewhere here. But now this center part, right here where it goes through the center of the bracket, is that much higher. Now here, the tooth would remain the same height. As you go through this one, it would remain the same height. This one, the tooth would go up some. And if you came out and you wanted to lower the tooth, you would drop down like this and go up this way, and now just come back to the arch wire, and the center of the bracket would be here, which is lower than there, and so the tooth would go down like that. Now, you test whoever you want to and see if they know how to do that. See, it's not complicated, except you just have to know how to do it, you know. And so many people do not know how to bend the wire, and you can't buy a cotton picking wire that'll do that. And all this junk of buying different brackets and turning them upside down and all that kind of mess, that's ridiculous. That's not accurate at all. In other words, you know how many millimeters or fraction of millimeters you want to move that tooth in what direction, and you can bend the wire and make it do that. And believe me, you can make teeth do almost anything you want them to, and then you can do it as long as those people are alive. Now, I've carried them into the 90s. I had never started anybody there. And I would not want to start orthodontics for myself either, and I'm not far out of 90. But I do want people to learn how to do good orthodontics, and don't spend your life hunting for a no-work way to do it. There is no work way to get your teeth straight, is my advice to you. So I'm going to go on here and I'll show you a few more cases, but we've been going along here about 26 minutes, and it's long enough, and I tended to work on this. Now this bending this wire into the gum tissue is another thing. So if you're using this for intrusion, you better bend it, get it in here and fit it in properly. Just make sure you got enough of the correct pressure. You don't want to stick it way out here to cheat. Cut it like you showed you the first one. You want it just down here passive on the gingival tissue. If you put too much pressure, it'll cut into this. So you've got to put it in there and see how it fits. Then take it out and activate it a little bit. Maybe have this thing going down like such, and now pull it up and hook it in there and see what that did to the legs. If that made the legs blanch the tissue out here, take it out again, go in there and bring that one that's blanching out further, hold this one where it is, put it back in, raise it up, check it, and put it into place. And if the pressure is just barely touching these teeth, then leave it there. Now you can make these things about, I guess you can make them a millimeter or so shorter than I've got these. But this is a good length for it to actually do the torquing and the tipping of the teeth and how you do it. And you can use these things like that. You don't have the chewing, the occlusion problem up above, see, tearing this arch wire up into bad. But you come over here with your arch wire, and it's right under the cuspid of the teeth above. If you've got teeth out on both upper and lower, it's not a big deal. But if you've got teeth up in here, and you've got arch wire right under them, you're going to tear it up. So you do this a lot of times just to save your arch wire. But it is an excellent arch to bend, and I can't tell you how to do it, and you learn how to do it. You've got to get you some wire, get you a good light, and some pliers that you can use, and sit down and go after it. You have to learn how to do that. Now this is very difficult for some people, and we tested all the ladies that worked in the office, and we had some excellent wire benders. And they came went with me a lot of times to lectures, and we had all the dentists and everybody line up out. We had tables and lights and pliers, and taught them how to bend it, or tried to teach them how to bend it. And I know some people that were pretty darn smart, and they were terrible at bending the wire, and I a lot of plenty of smart people that were good at it, you see. Now, one guy was a big-time operator, you know, and he couldn't bend the wire for nothing. And he finally went off into some crazy kind of orthodontics that was absolutely stupid. And I don't want to get anybody in the American Orthodontic Society hooked up on any kind of screwball type of orthodontics, so you don't have to bend the wire, you don't have to do this when they tell you don't. That's just a bunch of hockey. And anyway, I get stuck on that. I don't mean to be unkind to these people that are doing this quick, to me it's quick junk, you know. If you do something really good and you stick your name on it, I like to see it 20 and 30 years later that it's still there and it's still functioning right. And so we have seen many of our patients back again, and we very rarely find somebody that screwed up with them and kept them. So if you're going to put your name on it, it ought to be good. Now, you don't, I think about a patient kind of like an artist would think about something. Here I am given a human being who is the canvas for your artwork, and that should be more precious than any canvas, and we should really give ourselves to doing an excellent job with it so that you can be proud of each one. These guys that come up to me and say, oh, well, I'm treating 600 patients, and I'll bet you I could go down there and pick a whole darn bunch, half the pieces of things he hasn't done, or whatever it is, or he or she. So if you do a lot of cases, you've got to have a lot of good people working for you, doing everything that the law allows them to, and be good at it, and then you've got to come check them and make darn sure they did it good. If they can't, you have to. So don't go to these. Used to have people sometimes that would come to the lectures and bring their assistants to teach them how to bend the wire so they wouldn't have to. And I just didn't want to take those young ladies and teach them something and their doctor not know it himself, you know. I want to teach the doctor for sure. And if he has people he wants to teach, or he or she, okay, go ahead, as long as the doctor knows how to do it, you see. So anyway, the intruding arch is a really neat arch to learn how to bend. Now you can bend it in rectangular, but most of the time we use round wire because it's early in treatment when we're using the intruding arch wire. It's more used on the bottom by far than on the top, simply because your upper arch wire is not torn all to pieces when they chew. The lower one is right in line with the molar. I mean, the molar's bicuspid teeth, and you tend to chew it up, so they use it. But that's not the only thing you do with it. You can expand the arch, you can contract the arch, and you can intrude the anterior part of the mouth. With that, while you're doing all this other stuff, you can intrude while you're expanding, you can intrude while you're retracting, if you want to intrude and torque the teeth down here, then you're going to have to use a rectangular wire up here. You put negative torque in it because the downward pressure up here is positive torque. It tends to lean the teeth out. So if you want to open space, you put the intrusion and you'll open space in the arch right here. Now I'm going to hush, but we spent about 35 or more minutes here talking about this. But if you do not really know how to do this and you want to do bang up good orthodontics, if you're going to be a Michelangelo, you have to bend this wire. And so get with it. Come in and let's see some good stuff you're doing. And I'm going to see if I can shut this thing down now. Seemed like yesterday I couldn't get it. All right, here we go.